Hello and welcome back everyone, it's your girl Cassandra Olivia, and in today's video I have my lovely client Shakira, who we've literally done a million hair colors on at this point. She's been my loyal client for the last 8.5 years, and today she came in with some jet black hair, also with some brown and some previous faded color, and we're going to make her that beautiful blend of copper and red that I just showed in the beginning. So without further ado, let's get into the video. And I also want to say happy birthday to my husband. It's February 28th today, early morning. It is 6 o'clock in the morning, and I'm going to get this done before work. So I just want to say to the love of my life, Mark, I love you, and I hope you have a wonderful birthday. So today we're starting off with some K18. I have this color chart here just to show you her natural level. So again, Shakira is a natural level 2. All of her roots are grown out. However, we have 3 separate situations that we need to handle. So going in with this color, I want you guys to kind of think and visualize what's going on. So right here, I'm showing you guys all of her regrowth, and then where this blue starts, or this faded teal right here, is where she actually had jet black hair color. We removed the jet black, and then we went ahead and put the teal on her hair. Once the teal faded, she decided she wanted to do like a half and half color. So we only colored the back half of her hair, meaning that the back half of her hair has already been pre-lightened, and we know that she has virgin roots. So the back of her hair is actually going to be the easiest part to color, and the top of her hair is actually going to be the hardest because she has the dark natural level 2 hair, which is going to be easy to lift. But she also has the previous black hair color that's holding on to the ends because, mind you, we only colored the teal on the bottom half. So I'm just showing you guys what I'm talking about here again. You can see her regrowth, and then the very bottom where it's that light faded teal, like mint green color, that is where we had her teal. So I'm going to go in here first. I'm using some frame art foils. I wanted to use the Valentine's Day foils they sent me last year just because I thought they were super cute. And I am going in with a 1:3 ratio with the blonde solutions. And I will be sure to pop all of that in the description box as well, just because I know for the mixing of the blonde solutions, the scale was kind of like off centered, so it had a glare on it so you couldn't see. So I'll be sure to put the measurements in the description box. Please if I can speak, be sure to check that out. Also, if you enjoy this type of video, these type of hair coloring tutorials where I break down what I'm doing, please be sure to comment and subscribe because I am trying to reach my goal of 200,000 subscribers this year. Your girl was slacking a little bit last year, but we are going to start 2025 off with a strong start. So here you just see me. I'm only applying lightener to her dark roots, which is that level 2 that I showed you guys in the beginning. And I'm not going to be reapplying any lightener to the previously lightened ends because we don't want to have any breakage. So we have to be really careful how we do this. So I decided to take her hair in the front in thin slices. I'm applying that lightener just below the root because we want to save the roots for last. I'm weaving out all of the blonde pieces, and then I'm just coloring her dark brown hair. So this is a little bit more tedious, but you just want to be extra careful because you want to make sure that you are not overlapping that lightener because you don't want to cause any further damage. If I were to put the lightener all over her hair from root to end, what's going to happen is her roots are going to be a brassy orange color and her ends are going to pretty much be platinum blonde, and that's where you get into the danger zone because she's already been pre-lightened. So you really want to be careful and make sure that you're not overlapping lightener on already lightened hair if you don't have to. Now, if we were going platinum or taking her like a blonde, then that's fine, but that's not the goal here. The goal here was to go copper and like a reddish color. And Shakira honestly let me freestyle. She told me, hey, I trust you. You've been doing my hair for years. She's like, I want some copper. I want something with like a reddish color. She sent me a couple inspiration pics. We started going all around the color wheel. We started revisiting her blue, her pink, her purple. And then I said, you know what? She said, just go ahead and freestyle. I think I want to do copper. Do whatever you want. So literally, this was a total freestyle. She had no idea what color I was doing. I had no idea what color I was doing until the very end. But that's why I love my color clients. Like I said, she's been coming to me for a long time now. So with that being said, we've colored her hair several times. You've seen her on my channel. If you go to my popular playlist, you will see her on there. We've done her red to blue. We've done her blue to red. We've done her red to purple. We've done purple to blue. We've done black to teal, jet black, red. I mean, we've done every possible color you can think of on Shakira. And as you can see, her hair is still healthy and long. So I just want to take into consideration too for you guys that you can be a hair colorist. Don't be scared to try something new. And if you're not confident, please feel free to try it out on a mannequin first, or yourself, or a wig, or some type of hair where you're not really worried about the outcome. So in the beginning, I still to this day, I practice on mannequins. You guys see me going live all the time using mannequins. I practice on different things. I'm always trying different techniques because I always like to be the best of the best and on top of my game. So If you're going to be somebody that wants to specialize in color, make sure you really perfect your craft. Learn the color wheel, learn at least one or two product lines to start out with. That's my best suggestion. Me personally, I like to use Shades EQ line by Redken. I also like to use the Rusk line as well as the Wella line. So there's a few different lines I like to use when I'm using color, but most of the time when you see me doing colors or color corrections, I am using the Redken. However, it is good to know how to use at least one or two brands, and I always say that just because what if the Redken's out of stock and then you don't want to be stuck trying to figure out how to formulate a different line. So always have a backup plan just in case. And again, just staying ahead of the curve is going to help you make so much more money. So I'm going to let you guys actually guess in the comments down below how much I charge for this service. Now, take into consideration what we started off with. She started off with a dark canvas, pretty much all black and dark brown all the way around. Then we did have to go ahead and weave out her previously lightened under section. And then we also had to make sure we remove the black on the front parts of her hair. So the reason why I'm actually starting in the front first is because the front is where she still has the jet black, and it should be holding on to the mids to the ends about 5 inches down. So that's why you see me applying the lightener all over here. Now, knowing that she colored her hair black, I know that we're not going to get an even lift. I know her virgin hair at the roots is going to lift perfectly fine because, again, I've done her hair so many times. I know what's going to happen at this point, and also I specialize in color. But I know that she has that black on the ends, which means it's going to probably be a darker shade, a brassier orange. So just knowing what you're going in with kind of helps you formulate as you're doing the service. And then as things are happening, you can kind of adjust the appointment as needed. So for example, here, I'm doing my first application. Again, applying that lightener all over her roots all the way to the ends. And again, I know that her roots are natural. They're grown out about maybe 6 to 7 months, but the mids and ends of her hair still have the jet black we never removed. So knowing that going in, it's just going to prepare you for best case and worst case scenario. And I also like to do a thorough consultation with all of my clients, letting them know like, hey, if the black doesn't lift, we can do X, Y, and Z. If it does lift, we can do this. However, because she wanted a copper, I thought this was the perfect situation because a lot of times black, when you rinse it out or when you try to lift it, it will turn a orangey brassy color. So that's only going to work in my favor for this color today in adding some dimension, and I'll show you what I mean towards the end. So I'm just going to go ahead and finish foiling her hair all around. Again, wherever you see those light teal pieces on the end, I'm going to weave those out and make sure not to overlap. But then the hair at the top where we didn't color, I'm going to make sure just to apply the lightener from close to the root all the way to the end. But again, we're going to save the root for last because we don't want it to over process, and we also don't want any bleeding of the foils. So just enjoy this application. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to drop them down below. And again, drop in the comments how much you think I charge for this service. So technically this is a partial color correction. We're coloring her copper. This is going to be a double to triple process color depending on how the black lives. And then we're also going to do a silk press and a trim. So with all of that being said, I want to see how much you guys think I charge for this service. And then what I will do is I will pin the comment that is correct or the closest, and I will drop the actual price in the comments. But again, I'm a little pricey, y'all. So with that being said, don't start off any lower than 200-300, okay? Don't insult me, okay? JK, but I'm gonna go ahead and finish applying this for real. I'm gonna get the kiddos ready for school. I'm multitasking and I have to be to work in an hour, so we're gonna get all of this done on this beautiful Friday, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I will pop back in just a few moments. All right, so now I'm just doing the same thing on the right side of her head. I'm working in the right front section, literally doing the same thing that I did on the left side. And again, the reason why I worked backwards with this particular client is because the jet black that she did months back is still on the ends of her hair at the top of her head. The whole under part of her hair that we did teal, I already removed the black months ago and we did teal. So I know that part's going to be super easy to lift. So with the black hair color, I'm also using the foils because the foils is going to add some additional heat, and that's also going to help with the lift to remove as much of that pigment as possible. Now, because the back has already been lifted and I know that her roots are natural, I don't need to use foils for the back. I'm only going to foil the front just to add a little bit of extra heat and try to bump up that black that she has holding on to the ends. And again, you can't really tell now. It actually looks like her ends are kind of brown here, but that's just honestly how the black faded. I don't know why I'm struggling this morning, but I'm not editing nothing out. You already know how I do. If it's on here, it's on here. I'm a one take Tina. But anyway, so I'm gonna go ahead and just apply this lightener all over. And again, it looks like the ends are a lighter brown, but don't let that deceive you. That's just how the black faded out. Again, you're going to be able to see it much more once I'm done lightening her whole head. Then you'll be able to see where that black is holding on. And then that's where we're going to go ahead and tweak anything that we need to do. So just enjoy as I do the right side of her head. And then I'm just going to open air process the back. And once I am done that section, I will walk you through anything additional. But it's really simple, so just enjoy. And one of the little hacks I like to do here for the bigger sections, I do put some lightener on the foil. You can do this if you just want to make sure you have heavy saturation. Do I do this all the time? No, but if I'm taking a huge chunk like I'm doing here and it's thicker, I just want to make sure that the hair is fully saturated. So that's what I'm doing now. Okay, so now that the top sections are done, the right and left section in the front quadrant, I'm just going ahead and flipping over my foils. I'm peeking at some of them just to see how the color is processing. You always want to make sure to check your sections, double and triple check. And I'm just removing any foils that are already starting to process. That way it doesn't over process. Now for the back, I'm just going to outline my section and then I'm going to go in, part everything out, and again, applying the lightener everywhere except for where you see that mint green where we already lift her hair. This is important, again, because you don't want her hair to break off underneath. If you overlap the bleach on previously bleached hair, what's going to happen is that hair is going to be really fragile and brittle, and you don't want that to snap off and then have her have pretty much an undercut underneath or need an undercut because she has so much breakage. So again, just making sure to take your time. And then I also use K18 and Olaplex with every single hair coloring service. It is included. It is not an addition. Well, okay. Let me rephrase that. It's bundled into my price, so it technically is an additional fee, but it's bundled into my hair color price automatically. So when you start off with your typical hair color service with me, you don't have to request the K18 or the Olaplex, which I think is crazy because some stylists do that. I just include it in every color service and I just bundle it into the price because, again, healthy hair over color. Okay, it doesn't make sense for you to pay a lot of money to get your hair colored if your hair is just going to break off and fall out. So that's why I make a lot of money doing these color corrections and these colors, because my natural girlies, a lot of us aren't scared of color. But I'm glad that with me educating my audience, a lot of girls have been coming out of the woodwork getting color and they have been killing it. So again, just enjoy this transformation. I'm just applying the lightener all over. And now that we're done the back, I'm just going to go ahead and apply all that lightener to the roots, allow that to sit for a minute. And quick sidebar, I know that you guys see that I did not hair her sideburns. Typically, I do her sideburns because Shakira has a lot of little hairs on the back of her neck and on the sides of her ears. However, for this service, she requested that we not do the sideburns because she washes her face quite often, obviously. So With that being said, whenever we color her hair around the ears where her sideburns are, those hairs always fade first because she uses a lot of like, facial cleaners, toners and stuff. So those sections always end up turning either blonde or they're like a different shade than everything else. So Shakira was like, look, can we just not do the sideburns today? We'll just leave them as is. I said, girl, that's fine. So whether she want to shave them, leave them, whatever, that's fine. But again, I didn't intentionally skip that or accidentally skip it. We intentionally skipped it because we wanted to make sure that we didn't have any further issues. So you guys can kind of see how this is looking now. Again, you see I left the sideburns out because we didn't want to color all the way down on the side of her face. She was like, let's just leave this alone so that way it's not hard to blend. So again, just listening to your client and making sure that you are doing what you need to do. So now I'm going in with the Eco Head styling head, and I'm just going to go ahead and shampoo my client. And then we are using Olaplex in between. I didn't record the whole entire shampoo because obviously I felt like this was going to be boring, but we're just rinsing out that first application of lightener. I'm going to put her Olaplex number 2 on, let that sit for about a minute, and then we're going to rinse and then start to reapply her lightener anywhere that we need. So you can already see at the bowl how her roots are super light, but the ends are still like a brassy orange, like ugly brown color. That's where the black was. Okay, so we have our work cut out for us. Remember I said she's going to have about 5 inches of new growth, but everything else we're going to need to probably go in twice. This is that time. So I'm going to sit her up just so you guys can see a little bit better. All right, so you have the roots and the mids. This is going to be blurry for a second. It's going to come back in frame, so don't panic. But I just wanted you guys to see how this looks. So I left this little increment or segment in just so you can see that I'm applying it to the mids and ends only. But again, I'm reapplying this lightener everywhere that the black was. So anywhere that you see that dark brownish orange color from the mids to ends, we need to lift that so that way we have an even color. We don't want the color to be spotty and dark throughout. So here I am. I'm just going to apply in bigger sections all over. I'm going to use some foils and we're just going to hit the mids and ends where you see all of that dark brassy color where her previous black was. And again, this is considered a color correction / hair color because we're only correcting the top half of her hair. But I just wanted you guys to have full transparency so that way you guys can feel comfortable doing color, or when somebody goes to color your hair, you know the steps so that way you're educated as well. So you can see where her black is clearly. It's literally on the mids and ends. So I'm kind of just eyeballing it, applying with my brush anywhere that it's super dark. And then I'm going to go ahead and start to diffuse those lines. Add a foil and I'm going to let those process for about maybe 15 to 20 minutes. I just needed to lift enough to a golden color just so that way the copper can pop. We're not trying to take her blonde. We're just trying to remove as much of that dark pigment out of her hair as possible. Okay, so unfortunately at this part, once I was done toning her and everything, you can see it in the back, my camera died and I was in the zone clearly. So this is how her color came out. But again, I will be sure to drop her toner formula in the description box and even in the comments if you guys want to see. And then I will also put in the description how I applied it. This was a really simple and fun toner formula. We went ahead, pressed her out. I was running my fingers through, just looking at the color. And then we put some curls in. I sprayed her with the camera spray. And you guys already know all of the products that I use are on my Amazon storefront. This is how her hair looked when it was curled. You can see the blend of all the colors. It is super, super fall, just really, really giving autumn vibes. The blend is amazing. I did 3 different colors in her hair just so we can try to blend all of those different shades, but also to give her some dimension. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I'm just going to add a little bit of flyaway stick, a little bit of spray on her hair, and then I will ask Shakira when she was at work sending me videos of her hair. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And this is how her hair color looked 2 months after we did her color. Bye guys.